Hello! Hi and welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4 with me, Dozero. Okay, let's get back into our little Canada here, unpaused. We're playing the entire game on speed 3. It's gonna just keep going. And right now, nothing's happening. And so you can be like, that's not really impressive. But when shit's gonna hit the fan, this little timer is gonna be really, really stressful. So let's go check out our little military force right here. And oh, we have 10. So we got some of our people here that are getting trained. So as you can see, they're getting their equipment and they're training. So and once they're trained, I told them to immediately join the first army right here. We're gonna start renaming these people. So first of all, this is not gonna be the first district militia. We're not gonna have a militia anymore. These are gonna be the first rifle. And they're gonna be the first rifle baby J division. So there we go. The first rifle baby J. We're gonna have our second rifle over here. They're gonna be the Pillow Talk division. Very good. So we're gonna try to not lose any of these guys, especially if we name them, because that'd be really sad if you guys get horribly killed. But hey, that's part of of playing with me. Here the third rifle is gonna be the Astray game. There you go. The fourth rifle is gonna be the Jack Notch. Go. The fifth rifle is gonna be the looking at my list, check it, Panda V2. Oh my god, what's happening? The Spanish Civil War! A civil war has erupted in Spain. Several generals seeking to overthrow the current government in Madrid have issued a pronunciamiento. A large portion of the Spanish armed forces have answered their call to arms. This right-wing nationalist faction has occupied much of Spain, including the overseas territories. Loyalist forces and volunteers have assembled under the left-wing Republican government, determined to resist the putsch to their last breath. The battle for Spain has begun. Now, just jacket and V2. And a V2. So let's go check out what's happening. So we have a civil war in Spain right now, which historically happened also around 1936. And you can see it's Republican Spain and nationalist Spain are fighting each other. Sadly, we can't do anything. So normally you'd be able to send volunteers and you'd be able to give them guns and help them. But we can't do that because we're very much neutral. And if we try to do lend-lease or send volunteers, we need a world tension of 50%. So there's not been enough bad shit happening in the world for us to get involved just yet. However, you can bet your ass that Germany, they're not limited by that. They are sending tons of men into Spain to try to help the nationalists win. And the Soviet Union is probably sending a bunch of men in Republican Spain to make them win. So we're gonna have to monitor this situation. Things are happening. More military factories, some motorized, and the Ottawa class has been researched. Okay, so next up, what are we gonna research? We're gonna need definitely to research some field hospitals. And it's August. Some of the technology is blocked behind certain dates. And let's research. Oh my god, I don't have my... Looks like one of the mods isn't on. I don't have the planes and the tanks renamed. I'm gonna see if I can't fix that next, but... my god. This is a generic thing, so I'm gonna have to make sure that I get that mod reinstalled, because like a shadow of a tank is not interesting. I'd rather have the actual name. But yeah, and we research. So we're gonna start building, not light cruisers. We're gonna start building destroyers, our Ottawa class destroyers. There we go. And we're gonna tell them to go right here in Nova Scotia. We're going to need a lot of them. We can build about 3 a year, which is not much. We can build 3 ships a year, and they're the smallest ship that can be built. But it's a start. You got to start somewhere. Okay. Alright, our troops are still exercising. We're getting our experience. We're not doing anything with experience just yet. We're going to really want to stockpile it to do like big modifications to our troops at some point. But for now, not so much. And we're doing good on this. The game of the 11th Olympiad. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 nations across the world, the 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in history to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. The game were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, which spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 33 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the game. Little bits of history happen in the game, which is really interesting. I feel like it really puts you in the mood of sort of what was happening. What was I doing? Alright, so we're building our Ottawa-class destroyers. That's really nice and really good. And other than that, we've picked our Long Branch Arsenal to build more infantry research infantry weapon and military factories. Really good stuff. Other than that, let's go back to our little army here. Jacknut, Jacket, Panda V2. We're going to rename them. We're going to call the 6th Rifle... We're going to call it Little Tough. Go. 6th Rifle, Little Toughs. We're going to call our 7th Rifle over here. Seventh Rifle is going to be Kevin. Yes. Now, right now I'm giving the name. Once like things start going really badly, I don't know if I'll have time to give them name. Anyway, but we're gonna use this time here to do it. So we're gonna bring Socrates, the 8th Rifle. Go. Let's get the 9th Rifle in. We're not just gonna have riflemen. We're also gonna have tanks. Tanks are really good and really important in this game. How about we bring the few one here? Here we go. And then the 10th Rifle. We're gonna call it Bazaxable. Bazaxable. There we go. And we have here the 11th Rifle. 11th Rifle is gonna be Camrob. Yep. And we are just missing our 12th Rifle here. They're still training. They don't have all their equipment. They're missing anti-tank guns. Alright. Okay. Very good. Alright, just a little bit of time. So, right now there's not a lot of world tension. Just a little bit, 2.6. Once the world tension hits 100%, all bets are off. Everyone can do whatever they want. Democracies are really held back by world tensions. They're kind of... Yeah, they're really the one that suffer the most. But once the world tensions start rising, democracies start being able to do more things. It's going to be the administrative front. So this is where we're going to be dealing with training troops and stuff like that, and occupation of different areas. Okay, so anything going on? Japan at some point is going to invade China, which is going to be really bad. The problem is that we can't give any help to China until the world tension hits 50%. And China without any help is very likely to fall. Just a second, we got some new technologies. Okay, we've researched concentrated industry. Very good, very good. Okay, what else do I want that I'm going to need early on? I don't need any of this. I don't need any of this. I'm researching the tanks already. Okay, we're going to start. So these are the different doctrines, and they're kind of how you want to direct your army. Like, how do you want to fight? And we were, by default, using Grand Battle Plan, which is all about taking your time and planning and being defensive, and that's boring. What we're going for is superior firepower. This doctrine focuses on throwing shells, not men, at the enemy. Our manpower is precious, bullets are cheap. and that describes our situation very adequately. And this will give us huge bonuses to artillery. Our artillery is going to just wipe the map with our enemy, and this is what we're going to concentrate on. So we want to get really, really, really good at our artillery. The Long Branch Arsenal has been built. Very good. Let's go for the Liquid Carbonic Canadian Corporation. Even more military factory. Sadly, we're running out of things that will give us free military factory. We're still building them right there, the old-fashioned way. But those sort of free military factories, we're running out. So this is not so much. Oh, cringy nuggets. No, I promise I'm not gonna attack America. We're playing a historic Canada, so we're not gonna invade America. Not in this playthrough. I might do it in a future playthrough. I mean, look at all those juicy targets. Like, so few people on the border. We could just go in and take Boston really quickly, Chicago, everything. Nah, we're gonna be friendly with America. They're gonna be our buddies. In fact, we're gonna be buying a ton of oil and other things from them. We're gonna be like sending them all our money so we can get oil and steel and the things that we don't have. People want me to invade the United States. No. Like I said, in a future playthrough maybe, but not in our historic playthrough. We're gonna be the good guy Canada, the one that goes out there and just get things done. Speaking of which, maybe I can start talking a little bit. And these guys are just not getting their guns. Oh, we're starting to build a bit more. Oh, okay. So we don't have enough tungsten. So speaking of doing deals with the United States, hey, America, I'd like to import some tungsten. They'll take one of our factories, our civilian factories that produces toasters apparently, and so we're trading one toaster for 8 tungsten, and we're gonna use that tungsten to build our anti-tank guns and stuff faster. Because if you don't have enough resources, you can still build it, but it builds a lot slower, and we need a lot. We can modify our government. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is get R.B. Bennett. He's a silent workhorse, and he's going to give us more political power. So basically by having him, we're going from 0.5 a day to 0.8 a day, which is a 30% increase in the effective political power we're going to have. That's going to let us do a lot of things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So I like to get that very early on. And we got our... Now it's complaining that we don't have any divisions in basic training. That's okay. We only have 100,000 men in our reserve, so we don't want to overdo it. But we got the 12th rifle here. And speaking of which, cringy nuggets. Do you want to be cringy nuggets? All right. Do you want to be the 12th rifle commander? Cringy nuggets. There we go. You're part of the 12th rifle division here. We're going to do some push-ups for now, but you'll see action soon enough. We're in November of 1936, so the first year of this game is approaching to a close. And it's, like I said, not a lot has happened. The early game is really about planning and setting things up. And it's really important to get it right, because mistakes early on can really hurt you later. So let me talk a little bit about... Oh, well, actually, let's go see our mounted division. So this is going to be actually the RCMP. They're going to be the Royal Canadian Military Police. I know they're supposed to be mounted police. It's kind of a play. These are going to be military police. Right now they're just cavalry, but they're going to be... Oops. They're going to be Mounties, so they're gonna be like the first Mounties. We're not gonna do much with them early on in the game. They're only gonna come into play once we either occupy Italy, spoiler alert, or once we occupy Spain, other spoiler alert. Speaking of which, once I'm done with renaming these guys, I'm gonna go take a look at what's going on in Spain. See how the war is progressing. 5th Mounties. There we go. We have our Mounties, and let's give them a commander. We're gonna give them Charles Fuchs. There we go. Let's go check out what's happening. Oh my god. Yeah, the nationalists have pushed. They're about to take Madrid. Ooh, this is not looking good for the Republican in Spain. So it looks like the fascists are going to win. It usually goes that way, but sometimes the Republican win. But it looks like the fascists are going to win, which is going to be an issue later on in the game. Right now, not too big a deal, but later on, it's going to be a big deal. So our strategy overall for this game is going to be to have an army ready right when World War II starts. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ship them to North Africa, and we're going to take control of North Africa. Italy controls a lot of Africa here, and Germany's going to send troops in, and they're going to go into these colonies, and it's going to be a big problem because the AI is kind of dumb, and France and England is going to overreact, and they're going to send a ton of troops there, and then they're going to lose on other fronts. So we're going to want to go really early in and take control of Africa. If we can remove the ports, like if we can capture the ports, the Axis is not going to be able to land any troops without doing a naval invasion. And that means Africa's pretty much going to be safe for most of the game, and we're going to be able to concentrate on other places like Italy, the Low Countries, and Spain. So that's our initial strategy anyway, for now. To do this, we're going to have 12 rifle divisions that we're working on right now. They're going to be very different than this. This is a really terrible loadout, but I'm going to make a much better division. And we're going to have about 4 tank divisions, and we're going to have some planes. We're going to have all the cool toys. We're going to be really cool. Invade a Stray Games house. I'm not invading the US, guys. Come on. I know that right now in the US you might think you'd be better off under Canadian rule. But this is 1936. Alright, the Liquid Canadian Carbonic Corporation. Oh, and we got some free factories. We're going to deal with that really quickly. There we go. We're going to start building some support equipment. So support equipment like, health kit, radios, and stuff like that. It's going to be really important to create a really strong army. Right now, we're going to concentrate, now that we've done all the military factory, on the Canadian Armed Forces. We want to get like an army that is a professional army, that's not just a bunch of militia. Well, we renamed them already, but they're still using the old template of the militia. So we need to start doing the research that will let us upgrade our army to make them more efficient and better at fighting. So let's create a new template. We're going to duplicate this template. This is going to be our rifle division. They're going to be rifle division. They're going to have a little symbol of guns, and this is who they're going to be. So, pardon me, the rifle division, we're going to start giving them support. They're going to have an engineer company. Engineering company makes you move faster. It also gives you bonuses to defense in a lot of different terrain, especially crossing rivers. So having engineer company is going to be really good. You can see the change in the stats. It's a lot of stats, and unless you go really in depth, it's going to be hard to understand it. But basically, we have more men, we need more guns, we need support equipment, but it makes us better at a lot of things, so we're going to take that. Right now, what I just didn't change anything. This is just a theoretical template. It doesn't exist anywhere just yet, just in our heads. But eventually, we're going to switch our troops to that template. Not just yet. We need a lot more experience before we can do that. Hey, we have our first, the Canada fleet. No. This is going to be the Atlantic fleet. And the Atlantic fleet is going to have an admiral called H.T. Bailey Groman. So this is the HMCS Vendetta, our first destroyer of the Ottawa class. And now we're going to tell all the future destroyers to go in the Atlantic fleet, not the Atlantic squadron. Now, they're not going to have much to do right now. We're going to send them on patrol, I don't know, in the eastern seaboard of the United States. We're going to go say hi to the U.S. They're just going to patrol. There's nothing to really patrol for, but we could let them stay in the port, but we don't gain anything. Also, one of the other limitation I'm going to give myself in this game is I'm not going to move my troops until the war starts. So you can get a head start from the war by garrisoning. Like, I could send my troops in North Africa right here, right now, and then right the day the war starts, they could get involved. But that's kind of cheating. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to keep it at home, and once the war starts, we're going to send them to be a bit more historical in that way. But all right, January 1937. So now we've unlocked. Well, it's not so much unlocked. So some of the technology, as you can see, has a date attached to it. You can research it ahead of time, but you're getting a big penalty. Like, it takes longer to research technology that's ahead of time because it's ahead of its time. So we've unlocked all the 1937, and we got 2 really good industrial technologies here in 1937, which we're going to want to go for as soon as we have some things here. So in about 35 days, we're going to have research some field hospitals and some light tanks. And we're going to upgrade to, well, we're going to start researching industrial things. Getting your industry running early, really good. Really want to do that. Right now, I am overproducing artillery. So we can check here. We can see what we have, right? We have a couple of really old bombers. We have a bunch of convoys, a little bit of support equipment, a ton of guns, a little bit of artillery, and we have a deficit of anti-tank guns. We don't have enough anti-tank guns to go around. So people have to train with like broomsticks and potatoes because they don't have the guns they need to train with, which is fine for training, but once the war starts, you don't want your soldiers out there on the front with broomsticks and potatoes instead of like guns and grenades. So, we're going to need to produce more. But there's so many things we need to produce. We're going to need to produce some motorized. We're going to need to produce some tanks. We're going to need to produce planes. And like I said, we don't have enough factories to build all this. And also, I'm going to improve our division templates. We're going to make better divisions, but they're going to need more equipment. So there's a lot to work on there. But right now, we're just going to let it do its thing for now. And the thing is that while your troops are training, like they're doing these push-ups right now, they're suffering attrition. So 6% of our equipment keeps breaking down while we're training because, you know, you're training in the field, stuff breaks, it needs to be replaced. So while we're running these exercises, we are losing equipment, but the army experience we're getting is so crucial, is so necessary that we have to do it. We have to sacrifice that equipment. And you can like click on individual troops, for example, these guys, and you can see they have 300 infantry equipment, 36 towed artillery, 13 anti-tank guns, and they're missing 23 anti-tank guns. So those guns that we're building are actual guns that get sent, or tons of guns if you want to call it like that, that get sent to our troops. And when our troops are going to be on the front lines and everything, if they get cut off, they don't get their guns anymore. They don't get their equipment anymore, and things go really bad. So managing supply lines and cutting the supply lines of your enemy is a big part of this game. But I'm going to take a break here, so thanks for watching. Power surge detected already? We just took care of that. We just took care of that! I think they've abandoned me. I think the entire village has ran away. They thought I'm like a terrible person. Okay, so we need to angle this thing, propel it, and release it at the right time. So, angle the thing, and then we go... Oh.